Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Becoming the Best Me. My name is Beverly. Some people call me B, some people call me Bev. Whichever you choose is fine with me. Here on this channel, I will be discussing my journey using a GLP-1 medication to aid me with my weight loss. The reason why I wanted to create this channel is that I wanted to have a safe space for myself and other people taking these medications to have a place to come and discuss openly, respectfully, their thoughts, their journeys, their experiences on these medications. But before I go any further, there's a few disclaimers that I need to put out there. I am not a licensed medical professional. I give no medical advice. The statements that I say here are things that I have discussed with my provider, and we have came up with a plan that works best for me, and other things that I have incorporated that I find that work for my journey. I'm going to share that with you. But before you take any of these suggestions or experiences that I may share with you, and put it to use for yourself to aid in your journey, I would suggest that you also speak to your medical provider before doing so. The other disclaimer is that this is my channel, this is my life, this is my journey. I made, alongside with my medical provider, I made the decision to use a GLP-1 medication to aid me in my weight loss, along with proper diet and exercise. With that being said, this is my channel. Do not come on this channel and make derogatory statements or comments. If you happen to click on my channel, or it comes into your feed, or however you come about my channel, and you do not agree with what I'm saying, respectfully, you can leave a comment and I will respectfully respond. If for whatever reason else you do not agree with people using these medications to help with weight loss, you do not have to watch my channel. If you leave derogatory remarks and comments, I will block you. Again, this is my life, this is my journey, this is my choice. People have a choice in what they do that is best for them and best for their life and their lifestyle. I firmly believe that we can agree to disagree respectfully. I don't know when we became a society that thinks that because we disagree that we have to be disrespectful. We don't. We can agree to disagree respectfully, and I will do so if you do so respectfully. If you make derogatory statements and you leave derogatory comments, I will block you. I am a firm believer that I do not have a heaven or hell to put anyone in, so I pass no judgment. Everyone decides for themselves what is best for themselves, their life, their journey. I make no judgment. If I get on a channel and I have something to say, I say it respectfully and I move on. If I can't say it respectfully, I click away and watch something else. Now, with that out of the way, let's discuss. How did I get here? Okay. For as far back as I can remember, I think I was like maybe about 10 years old. Um, I just wake up one day in my mind and I had breasts, hips, and thighs. I am from the Caribbean island, and everything that we do involves food. If you're happy, it involves food. If you're sad, it involves food. Food became a go to for me for comfort. And along my life, I have tried, I would say unsuccessfully, to lose weight. I have tried everything. I've tried shakes, I've tried injections, I've tried pills, I've tried everything from Slim Fast, Phentermine, other types of injection, diet, exercise. And I may have lost maybe 20 pounds, but along the way got frustrated that I wasn't losing it fast enough, or just totally got frustrated with the process and just stopped. I would regain that 20 pounds and more. So it was yo-yo. I was a yo-yo dieter. And this was constant throughout my lifestyle, my life span. So I had my children when I was young, and that was another um, weight gain episode. I was up and down. I had my son first, and I toppled all the way to 200. Um, then I may have gotten back down to 180. Um, then I had my daughter a few years later, and I went over 200 pounds. And from there, I never went back down. It just constantly kept going up and up and up. I kept dieting. I kept trying to lose the weight, you know, using different methods. The one thing that was always consistent in my life is that I love to exercise. I was always active. During my high school days, I played softball, volleyball, basketball. Um, I walked. Um, I ran. I weightlifted. I always liked to exercise. But even though I was exercising, the weight was not coming off because, again, I didn't have a good relationship with food. Um, and I really didn't know this, even though, I went to different clinics, I tried different diets. No one really ever sat me down and really um, devise a plan that will work for me and my lifestyle and my body. It was always, if you want to lose weight, you eat less and exercise more. That's what I did throughout my lifespan. It never worked. So, fast forward, I have some notes here so that I can stay on track. I am a 57-year-old. I guess at this point I'm postmenopausal. And in 2021, I got really sick with COVID. I struggled and I struggled, and COVID left me affected with neurological symptoms, immune system. My immune system was compromised. Um, I suffered from gait instability, gait imbalance. I couldn't walk. I had to be careful driving because I had dizziness from the slightest turn of my head. I had ringing in my ears. Um, it was just a difficult time for me. I was doing physical therapy and occupational therapy. Um, and I had all sorts of tests done, tests that I've never heard of, and I don't think I want to go through it again. I even had a nerve test. Um, and at that time, I think I lost maybe 20 to 25 pounds because, again, I wasn't well, I wasn't eating, and, that sort of thing. So I was very weak and limited to the type of exercise that I could do because of my weakness and gait instability. But after regaining my strength and getting better, um, I gained back the 25 pounds, the 25 pounds that I had lost. That's my thing. I can lose it, but I can't keep it off. But even at my highest weight of 240 pounds, um, my body type and structure, I never really looked like I carried that amount of weight. Even I would surprise myself and my doctor when I got on the scale, because my body makeup, I just wore it well, and that sometimes kind of fooled me to becoming comfortable with the weight, because again, I didn't look like I carried that weight. And even with the clothes that I wore, I can I could have always wore a smaller size, um, just because of how I was proportioned. So in my mind, I kind of got, I was okay with the weight. I was kind of okay because when I got on the scale, I knew that that number was too high. And I knew in my mind, the back of my mind, that I needed to lose the weight, but it was such a struggle all the time. Anyway, in 2023, I got COVID again. This time, it came on in the height as I was going through, again, menopause. And this time it was a different struggle. I had the menopausal symptoms, fatigue, hot flashes. I started to get joint pains, um, just overall not feeling well. So I went to my primary care provider. We sat down and had a conversation. She ran some tests, and again, my immune titers were abnormal. So she sent me to see an immunologist. She also ran some tests, and the initial test that came back, she thought it was lupus. I was freaking out. Anyway, she did further testing, and those tests were negative. But the final diagnosis was fibromyalgia. So I was dealing with the fatigue and the joint pain, all over body pains. I also had pains in my knees, so bad that I struggled with everyday activities. I struggled going up and down the stairs. I have stairs in my home. There were days when I would go down the stairs backwards. I would slide down the stairs because I was so weak in my legs and my knees hurt so bad. So she sent me to see orthopedic specialist. I saw him. He also ran some tests, and he suggested that I take the steroid injections in my knees. I always said that I would never do those injections, but you never say never. I was in so much pain and taking so much pain medication that I decided to take the steroid injections because it promises to give you relief. Some people in different studies and different articles that I read, there were some people that got a year of relief. There were some people that had 2 years of relief. You know, others didn't have any. I fell into the category of those that didn't have any. I didn't get any relief. Um, I maybe a week I felt good. Um, I had less pain, but the pain never ever went away. Anyway, that was that. So then I went back to my primary care to have another discussion. And this time I have a known diagnosis of hypertension. Um, so hyper, hypertension, um, joint pain can cause your body to be in stress constantly. And that stress can cause your hypertension to be uncontrolled. So she was having a hard time with the medicines that she was prescribing to me in getting my hypertension to be in control within a marker that was controlled. So I also had my A1C started to go up. Um, I had hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol, um, going through menopause. A number of other markers were out of whack. I just was not feeling well. So she discussed with me, she said, Bev, you really need to lose the weight. You really need to um, get on a regimen that will help you lose the weight, eat better, and so that your overall health will be better. So we discussed my options. So she suggested to me phentermine. I said, I've used phentermine in the past and it really didn't help me. Um, she said, okay, let's try it again. I said, okay. At this point, I'm willing to try anything. So she put me on the phentermine and she started me. I can't remember how many milligrams it was, but she says start with half a pill and then we can titrate up to a whole pill if you feel that you're having breakthrough hunger. So we started on the phentermine. Um, and I did that for a few months. Honestly, I don't think I may have lost 10 pounds. Um, but the symptoms from the phentermine was very exhausting for me. I was having palpitations. I would be sitting and my heart would just be doing flip flops. And it also made my hypertension harder again to come under control. So I went back to my primary care and I told her what was happening, and she suggested that um, just to rule anything else out, she sent me to see a cardiologist. So I went to see a cardiologist. He did all kinds of tests. He did an ultrasound of the heart. He did a Holter monitor. This is when they put the leads on and they put a little device on you and you keep it overnight. It just depends. Some of them are overnight, some of them are for a couple of days. And they get the recordings back in the office. So I did that. Those were normal. The heart ultrasound was normal. And so um, everyone came into agreement that it was the phentermine and that I needed to stop the phentermine. So I did stop the phentermine. Again, I really didn't see any significant weight loss. So so I went back to her again and we had another discussion. At this time, when she came in the office, she was so excited. She said, I think I got something that will work for you. I said, okay, let's talk about it. She said, there's this new drug called Zepbound. It just came out. Um, so she went and she got the pamphlet with the literature and she brought it back to me. And she said, it's quite expensive and I don't think your insurance is going to pay for it. But the studies show that people, have done well. You could lose, this amount of weight within this amount of time. Um, she said, what I'll do, I will write the prescription. You go home, do your research, do a little bit more reading, and then you let me know if you want me to send the prescription um, to the pharmacy. So I came home and I did. I read the literature that she gave me. I went on the internet and I did some research. Now, mind you, I have never heard of this medication. apparently at that time I learned that there were several medications that were being used to control diabetes. The only one that I really knew about was um, insulin and metformin and I think Trulicity. That was the only three that I know about. I didn't know about Manjaro. I didn't know about Ozempic. Um, I didn't know about any of these things. So Manjaro was created for people with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And then Eli Lilly came out with Zepbound, which is specifically being used for weight loss. So this is the one that she was suggesting that I use was Zepbound for weight loss. So anyway, I read what I needed to read, and I let her know, okay, go ahead and send the prescription over to the pharmacy. I think it was a few days later, 2 or 3 days later, the pharmacy called me and said, you know, Beverly, your prescription is ready. And they said that your insurance is not going to cover it, and it's $550. And you know, are you going to be able to pay for that? And I had already decided how I was going to pay for it because I knew that I wanted to try it. Anyway, I was so nervous that I waited about a week before I went for the medication because there was so much discussion around the side effects, you know, nausea, vomiting, constipation, headache, tiredness, fatigue, insomnia, bowel obstruction, gallbladder issues, pancreatitis, hair loss, thyroid problems, if you have a history of certain types of thyroid cancer. I didn't have any thyroid issues, and I didn't have any family members that ever had that I know about that have had issues with thyroid or thyroid cancer. So that one I didn't worry about. But the other ones was like, oh my God, I got to deal with all these things. So after reading all of these things and seeing all these suggestions, I went out and I started to buy things to have in my war chest. You know, I bought, um, you know, things for nausea, things for constipation, um, all these different things. I said, okay, I need to be ready. Anyway, so I went and I picked up the medication. I brought it home and it sat. It sat in my refrigerator for another week. And so on January 26th, I decided, okay, this is it. And so I took the first injection of 2.5 Zepbound. Throughout the course of the day and the next day, I felt a feeling of euphoria. It was like my brain went quiet. And I never heard the term food noise. When I started looking at the YouTube videos and people were talking about this, I'm like, food noise, what is that? I've never heard that term. And I would never consider myself having food noise. I just thought in my mind that I just thought about food, or you know, what am I going to eat for lunch, or what am I going to make for dinner, or what am I going to snack on. um, I just I just thought it was normal. I was never a person obsessed with food. um, I was a light snacker. I'm very particular in the snacks that I like. I don't drink sodas. I'm not a big junk food eater. I like peanuts. I like chocolate covered almonds. Very particular in the types of chips that I like, and things like that. So, and I would consider myself a grazer. Um, I eat when I eat. I would eat a small amount in a saucer, but I would eat often. That was my thing. So I took the 2.5, and like I said, it was just it was just different. It was different, and I don't know. Only a euphoric feeling is the only way I could describe it. But anyway, um, I did that, and um, I was on 2.5 for a month. And within that month, I would say I didn't really have any side effects except for constipation. So, in my research and in my reading and watching YouTube videos, there was a talk with about Mago 7. So I had already gotten the Mago 7. So I had that on hand. And then a friend of mine told me about prune juice. But warm the prune juice, just nuke it a little bit in the microwave and drink that. And warm lemon water. I would do that first thing in the morning before I ate anything. Wait about 10 minutes before I ate anything. And that was taking care of my issue with the constipation. It wasn't terrible at all. You just have to stay on it because I can see where you can lose track of it. Um, if you're not a person that's regular, um, I wouldn't say I was irregular, but my body, I think I went maybe once, maybe twice a day, but more than likely once. So if I really went through a day or two and I realized that I didn't go, I was like, okay, I need to, work on that. So I never let it really go past a day or two. So I think that first month, and here's another thing. Um, I wasn't I wasn't tracking. I didn't track. I didn't track my food. Um, and I just tracked my weight loss because I think for me that it's kind of triggering, um, all the tracking. It was several months in before I started tracking my 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 food intake and my exercises and stuff like that. So that first month, I think I lost 10 pounds in that first 4 weeks. I was always one that was exercising. So I was exercising, I was going to the gym, I was, you know, doing the treadmill or elliptical, or I was taking some type of body pump or kickboxing class. I was already doing those things to try to strengthen my body and my muscles and stuff. So I continued to do that. So I lost about 10 pounds in the first 4 weeks. And I was still waiting for all these side effects, because it was like all over the place. Oh, this is what's going to happen, and that's what's going to happen. And none of it really happened for me. The only thing I would say again is the constipation and the fatigue. There were days when I was just more fatigued more than anything else. And again, um, I was having some hot flashes. I was like sometimes really, really hot and then sometimes really, really cold. So with me, I think it was a combination of the medicine and going through menopause. So that was it. So the next month, she moved me up to 5. Here is what I'm going to say. What I wish I knew. I didn't know, and I don't think a lot of physicians back then knew. They might know now if they're doing their reading and research, that you try to stay on a dose as long as it's working for you. But when these medications first came out, it was the practice that every 4 weeks you move up to the next dose. So my physician moved me up to 5. Um, So I titrated up to 5. And again, this was the protocol that Eli Lilly had out there from their studies. So I moved up to 5. Second month, I was still losing, still not really having a lot of side effects other than the constipation, a little bit of nausea. I never vomited, still having the fatigue, and, still reading and doing my research. At that point, I I kind of I was having to force to eat, and with having to force to eat for me, knowing that I had to get my calories in and my protein in, my thought about food and the way that I consumed food changed. My focus became protein first. So I started to pack my refrigerator and my home with things that were protein, high in protein. I was doing the Jabani yogurt, Greek yogurt. Um, I was doing, I was meal prepping, doing, my chicken, fish, sometimes beef. I don't eat a lot of beef, but I did incorporate some beef in there. Bone broth. When I was cooking my meats, I would use the bone broth instead of water. Vegetables. Um, I have trouble getting fruit down. So the way I get fruit in is I make a smoothie with my fruit, or I juice it. So I was making smoothies, or I was juicing my fruit, and that's how I would get my fruit in. So my thinking and my relationship with food started to change. And the one thing I must say is that there were times when I just wanted to eat. I wasn't hungry, but I guess from habit, when I was eating something, if I liked it, I just wanted to eat it. I just wanted to eat all of it. And sometimes I would push past the fullness and eat it, eat all of it. Let me tell you, that is a miserable feeling. Feels like somebody blew a balloon to full capacity in your stomach. That is the worst feeling. I suggest that you don't do that. Um, I also had on hand the Emetrol that you suck like a candy. It dissolves on your tongue. I have that for nausea. And then I bought the papaya enzymes. Those are also dissolvable on the tongue. You just suck on it. I will take 3 of those twice a day. And that would help with the digestion of food. And I would really only have to take those if like I forced to eat and I had that miserable feeling of fullness. That's when I would take the papaya enzymes. So that was that. I also incorporated ginger tea. I was sipping on a lot of ginger tea, or what I would do is the fresh ginger, I would just slice a little piece and I would just suck on it. Or I would boil the ginger, let it cool, and I would sip on that. And that alleviated the nausea um, and that feeling of fullness. I drink a lot of teas because that just helps to soothe my stomach. I drink ginger, turmeric, um, hibiscus. I just like tea, so I drink a lot of tea. So again, 8 weeks in, I'm on 5 milligrams. So then now I started hearing about the compound version because again I was paying $550, and 2 months in, um, I started to think, okay, can I continue to pay this $550? It was really a stretch for me. So I started to hear rumbles about compound companies, compound medications. So I did my research, and I found a company called Join Fridays. And there's other companies out there, Mochi, Lavender Sky, and a couple others. Some of you have probably heard about them and, probably used them, or, there's Amble, quite a few. But anyway, I decided to go with Join Fridays. I am not endorsed by them. I don't work for them. This is just who I chose to use because I wanted that comfort in knowing that I had a provider that I can go to. They have that. They have um, coaching sessions. They have movement sessions. They offer a variety of things, but that does come at a cost of $99 per month. That's in addition to the medication. So I moved up. I did five again. Once I joined Fridays, I stayed on five. Um, I kind of stalled out on five. Um, I was gaining and losing between the same 3 and 4 pounds. So then the provider decided to move me up to 7.5. So I moved up to 7.5, and I did 4 weeks on 7.5. And I think at this time, I think I may have lost about 20 to 25 pounds by the time I got to 7.5. I stayed on 7.5, um, I think 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks I did 7.5. And then this was in March. So March and April I did 5. Um, April and May. April and May I did 7.5. And then from then I've been on 10. And I decided to stick with 10. Um, and I said in my mind, as long as it was working for me and I was losing weight consistently, I will not titrate up. I've been on 10 since then. Um, and it's been working. There have been times when I stalled, but from reading and researching, I've learned how to kickstart the stall eating by increasing my caloric intake, um, bringing down my strength training. Because again, when you build muscle, you're going to gain weight, because muscle weighs more than fat. So, and there were times when I would go hard with the strength training because I'm getting flabby, and that is like a real concern for me. So, I'm trying to build up my muscle. So, there were times when I have to like scale back on the amount of weight that I'm lifting. I'm still working out, but I just kind of like scale it back. I also don't do a lot of cardio, because for me, and what I've read and researched for older women, especially women in menopause, a lot of cardio is not good for us. It puts the body into stress, and when the body is in stress, it tends to hold on to the weight. So I do at most, if I'm doing the treadmill, I do maybe 30 minutes at maybe either 3 or 3.5 at maybe a 4 incline. And I love kickboxing. So that's my other cardio. And when I do that, I don't do the full 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute class. I also like step. So I do step, but I don't do 60 minutes of step. I do 30 minutes. So I just cut it in half and then I will go and weight train. So I kind of like balance things out. So I'm not doing more of one thing and less of another. So balance is very important on this journey. You just have to find your balance and what works for you. You have to change the way you think about food. You know, a lot of people have said, "Oh, I haven't changed the way I eat. I just eat less." I have changed the way that I eat. Um, like I said, I'm from the Caribbean, and there's certain dishes that I like, but I know to be successful, there's certain things that I had to cut out. So I would still have like my curry chicken, and I don't do oxtails. I haven't done oxtails since being on this journey because it's just the meat is so high in fat. If I do beef, I do very lean beef, ground beef. So I've just changed my way of thinking and just incorporated things into my lifestyle that works for me. The way I prepare my food, I bake, I stir fry. Um, like I said, I focus on protein first, and then everything else. I still have my carbs. I will season and bake my red skin potatoes with the skin. I will have that with my vegetables. Rice, I'll do brown rice or I'll do jasmine or basmati rice. I will do like maybe half a cup or just 2 tablespoons, and the rest will be my protein and vegetables. So I've really found a real balance of things. So um, from February to now, we're the 1st of September. Um, I took I took my injection today of 10. Um, Another thing is that the injection sites, I have tried all the sites, but I think my best site is my stomach. The arms, I've tried the arms, and both times I couldn't, there was no difference to me. And I got, people talk about these little red little patches that's really irritated more than anything else, like raised skin. It looks like an insect bite. I got that on my arms, and I got that on my legs when I did my legs. I was doing my legs for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden I started to get those irritations on my legs too, so I stopped. I've never gotten them on my stomach. The most I may get is maybe the next day I may have a little bit of itching, and then I would just I would either ice it or put some Benadryl on it, and it will go away. But the other sides, I don't do. I haven't done in months. I just stick to my stomach. So um, that's where I'm at. Um, to date, I think I am at 48 or 49 pounds. I didn't calculate what I lost. And I'll do so and mention it in my next video. So here is where we're at. Um, so I am on 10 milligrams of Tirzepatide compound. I've done my injection today in my right upper stomach. The other thing, I stopped weighing on injection day. Um, I weigh the day after. I have another YouTuber that I follow, 100 pounds down, and she made that suggestion in one of her posts, and it kind of made sense to me. So I have since switched to doing my weight a day or two after my injection, and I weigh Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and My injection day I've changed. It used to be Fridays. I now change it to Sunday. So then I will weigh either Monday, tomorrow, or Tuesday. I don't know when I'll upload this video. So um I'm recording it September 1st. So anyway, I will leave it there. This video is longer than I wanted it to be. But I wanted to share with you what my journey so far has been like. I'm hoping to upload videos a couple times a week, just to share with you what is happening with me and some of the things that I'm going through and I'm learning. I also want this to be a lifestyle channel. I want to share things with you like body dysmorphia, how to really grow into your body and accept what your body is looking like, because that's something that I'm struggling with. I look in the mirror and now I can see bones, and I was like, it's weird. Like, I look at my hands and my hands look so little. My wrists look so little. I'm like, is that my wrist? So body dysmorphia, I've never really thought about it, but now that I've lost so much weight, it's a real thing, and it's your perception of how you perceive yourself when you see yourself. So I'm struggling a little bit with that, and how I've changed my fashion, now that I'm in a smaller body, wearing a smaller size. Um, um, my taste in clothes have changed. So I just want to just share those lifestyle things with you as I go through this journey. So take care of yourself um, until we meet again. And remember to take time for life's simple pleasures and share a smile. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. Anyway, if you like what you've heard here, I ask you just to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Becoming the Best Me. Again, I will try to bring you different content several times a week. Take care and be well until we meet again. Bye, friend.